Yeah, they have a lot of ways to make sure it hits one. And there's always the chance of the vacuum into 5-man stun dream.
Oh,
like,
jeez, the dream.
The chance is there, man. And then you just slam the OD ult on top and just wipe them all.
I don't know if I'd be able to control myself with that.
I mean, I've hit a 4-man Stormbolt into a vacuum.
Oh my god, I don't think I can control myself anymore. Just your description of it, man.
I know, man. You just watch 4 heroes get grasped from their positioning, thrown into the center of this massive hammer flying into their faces. Anyway, so looking at the lanes here, I mean, I think Luna getting free farm is more important than Void getting free farm for the first few minutes of the game, because Luna is a hero with massive farm acceleration. If she gets to Dom Yasha or Dom Dragonlance uncontested, then I really think she can go off in this game and stay 5k net worth ahead of everybody. Shadow Fiend, kind of the same deal. He does accelerate his farm a lot faster than OD does. So the pace of this game has really got to be dictated by Scarsdale. They need to be taking the fights to Princeton and really putting them on the back foot, because the longer you let Princeton sit around, the bigger net worth lead they should acquire. And this is absolutely going to be one of those games where the team that's ahead, if they execute properly, is going to be in great shape. If you're one or two, like if you're one item ahead on either of these rosters, it gets a blink before they get any mobility, you all of a sudden just get to jump on things and win fights. But on the same opposite end of that, right, like if your OD gets a 4-staff, it opens up so many options. So early laning phase, again, for the 3rd game in a row, really going to determine a lot of how this game goes. And I'm going to really try not to watch the Axe, because Axe jungle is like one of those things near and dear to my heart, and any minor efficiency things drive me nuts when they go wrong. But
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're going to have to suffer through this at all.
It'll be fine.
But we'll be making our ways here. Oracle and Leshrac seems like a pretty good roaming combo, and I don't really see a hero that's necessarily going to be babysat as much, so that kind of leads me to believe that we're going to see maybe a little bit of pressure in the jungle, definitely a lot of pressure onto the Shadow Fiend.
Well, and kind of as you said, it is a great roaming duo, and if the Axe decides to just hard jungle level 1, that Void can essentially sit alone, get solo XP. It leaves one of the 2 heroes to just chain pull constantly, get a quick level 6 on the supports. You get a lot more out of it if you can commit heroes to every lane. And
30 seconds.
I'm trying to think if there's a dual lane situation Scarsdale could do in the offlane that really matters. But Oracle and Lesh both really aren't great combos with Void, or with Darkseer. So I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to do anything there where they get to like double pressure the offlane because of Axis jungle, but we'll just have to see how this early game goes. Both teams just opting to stay way the hell away from each other right now. Just looking to farm some runes.
I could farm some runes all day. And there's going to be more of them in Dota 7.0.
Don't get me started. I'm so upset that we're going back to an RNG-based mid where there's only one real rune every 2 minutes. It's just, ugh.
I mean, you've got bounty runes all over the map.
Doesn't matter.
Your bottle only gets the mid lane already. They're going so right for this one. Let's take a look at Flander's skill point. Yeah, he's put the first one into the split earth, so the Shadow Fiend immediately going to be feeling some pressure here. And OD goes out with the Astro and Princeton. There's going to be a lot of pressure here immediately. Courier's here as well. Are they going to find that one? The stun is going to be on the mark. OD finds the Courier, and that's going to put some damage onto the Shadow Fiend as well. That's going to be the first blood and the Courier kill for OD.
So your OD in a relatively rough level 1 to level 3 matchup just gets donated a bottle. That is absolutely massive for this lane, because all of a sudden his quality of life went from this is kind of hard to, all right, I get a last hit for free. Like, wow. All of this because that Axe is jungling, essentially. They don't need supports down here.
I don't think the Faceless Void would be too hurting at level 1 against an Axe. Like, maybe he takes a little bit of pressure from it, but it's not going to be, like, game-ending for him if, like, maybe the Axe gets 1 or 2 lucky spins there.
No, it's not about him, though. It's about the fact that an Axe that gets to get, like, 2 free waves is so much better than an Axe that has to commit to the jungle for the first 2 minutes of the game.
The Shrek going to be putting out the stun on the Disruptor, and he seems to not really even need setup for it. Flounder also possibly a little bit cut out there. There's going to be Connect Field here. The Disruption is available. Axe also has a call available. He's going to use the call, and Reshek's going to be kept here for a little bit more. There's the Disruption available as well. Does he go for the Split Earth? He's going to just try to put it out. Hits out onto the Axe, but it's not going to be doing enough to keep him alive. And Leshrac just going a little bit too deep there.
Yeah, definitely.
Just went a little too far. Trying to put pressure onto the Axe, and he's doing it by himself as a Leshrac. It just doesn't really seem like something that he's able to do as much at level 1.
Yeah, no, it really isn't. For Axes watching, Battle Hunger at 2 is tenfold better than Call. Please start taking it. It's just one of those things that in that situation there, if they didn't have 3 heroes and only had 2, Battle Hunger lets you run that hero down and get the kill anyway. It's an insane amount of damage for a value skill point. 160 damage at level 1 and more autos. And unless you have a teammate stacking like a 5-stack of camp for you, you do not need Call at level 2. But they do manage to secure the kill. 1-on-1 now. Pretty big for the Axe to get a little bit of extra influx of gold. And the Shadow Fiend finally gets to consider whether or not he wants to run the salve out in mid lane. Oh, well, that's so painful.
I think you might have even forgotten about the fact that the couriers respawned.
Well, yeah, at this point he probably sells it just to get the bottle. He's 18 seconds away from it. I'd just sell it and start running the courier.
So in any case, we've got basically some safe laners with no pressure.
He's got to get mid.
Yeah, he's got another Astro Imprison into the stun combo. This time there's going to be a couple of TPs coming through. Can Mar find the kill? They need to get a little bit more damage, but the Fairy Fire is going to keep Shadow Fiend alive. And now Leshrac uses his Diabolic Edict, trying to do a little bit of extra damage there. Glimpse back into this one. He's got a lot of damage to do. OG looking for the one last hit onto the Shadow Demon, able to find it as Flounder gets away from it as well. Disruptor zoned out by the Split Earth. And these
Why did Flounder not Edict right off the stun there? He held it for no reason, and it lost him the kill on Shadow Fiend. Really weird. Maybe he just thought he didn't need it and wanted to save the mana, but I mean, Shadow Fiend gets to walk away. Sure, they still got one consolation kill, but that was strange.
Yeah, and with that, both heroes are going to be... I mean, we've got a Shadow Fiend forced back to base, but so are the Leshrac and the OD. I mean, honestly, at that point, it might even be a good idea for Leshrac just to kill himself off, which is getting nerfed in the new update.
It's not even viable after the update. I can't wait.
That's one of the changes that I just had to kind of laugh to. You get like a 25-second respawn after denying yourself to neutrals. I mean, it's almost as bad as Sir Action Slax's proposed change.
I liked Fogs that you could go into negative gold. That one is still probably my favorite. Surge,
Surge in on the OD, looking for the Astro Imprisoner. Is a little bit of help here. Does the Disruptor want to help a whole lot? He's got the Kinetic Field. He's going to put it down, trying to keep these guys awake. Oh, no. Also another glimpse, getting the Ion Shell away from the Shadow Fiend, and Shadow Fiend makes it into the trees. Lots of damage on the Mar. Mar's going to try to keep going a little bit deep here. Flounder here. He's so deep, and the Split Earth is going to hit Diabolic Edict, eventually ending, though. Flounder, there's no glimpse here. He might be a little bit caught in. Some damage from the Shadow Fiend, but he misses another raise. And this is a kill onto the Leshrac that they're not going to be able to find another Surge able to get him out. So lots of pressure being put onto the Shadow Fiend, but it's not actually resulting in a kill so far.
I mean, that's 2 times in a row Flounder is essentially single-handedly ruined the gank. He had an Ion Shell on him there and basically hit creeps instead of running up into Shadow Fiend's face while he was astraled, and didn't provide the damage that he needed to. The Ion Shell would have given plenty of damage to clean the Shadow Fiend up in that stun timing. And just another minor positioning misplay, a little lack of awareness, and really coming back to bite them in the ass, because that's so many rotations.
Hey, he said
getting
the
committed
word
for nothing. I did. I said the word. Woo!
With all this pressure that's being put onto the Shadow Fiend, this Loon has basically been given free farm to start out the game, and even when the Darkseer rotates, or actually the Leshrac up to that lane right now, I mean, she's not going to get a whole lot of pressure on her, and Luna's probably going to farm a little bit better than the Void as this game moves on. So is this going to benefit Princeton with that?
If Princeton can get access to all of the farm available to them, absolutely. But look at the pressure that the Axe has been under just from those 2 times Lesh walked into his jungle. Like, the one time he did definitely die. But Tranquil's in 700 gold here at 6 minutes. At the very least, he has a stack to recover. But if you're going to go Tranquils into straight Blink, you want to be looking to have it around the 9-minute mark. A bad Blink timing is like 10, maybe 11, if you're not being contested. So 1 or 2 more rotations into this jungle could really hamper his early game, and I think that's what Scarsdale need to look at. Because if you could slow this Blink timing at all.
Oh, Leshrac in a ton of trouble, taking a lot of harassment with creeps as well. There's going to be disruption keeping him there, and the last Lucent Theme should be able to finish him off. Yeah, even the Surge not really being able to keep him alive, and there was also TP coming in. but it ends up getting canceled as Maroon's basically left here just kind of staring at the dire side, not really able to do anything. Smack's doing a ton of damage with the level 4 Lucent Beam there.
Yeah, the Fate's Edict almost saved him there. It was in cast animation, I believe, at the moment, and it would have stopped the magic damage from that last Lucent, but not quite in time.
Here comes the Eclipse right over towards Malone, and again, not being able to get the Fate's Edict off.
Yep.
This time it's probably not saving him, but...
No. First time it would have, but yeah. So they are looking to use this Ion Shell Chrono combo here into really giving the Void the early game damage. He just doesn't. So, solid little combo there.
Well, the Faceless Void does end up trapping the Chronosphere on the top lane. They have enough dots there in order to kill off the Luna, which is a great kill for Scarsdale to happen. We also have a kill on the mid lane OD. Shadow Fiend able to find that one.
I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how that happens either. OD has an Astral in prison, right?
This is the pressure you get, though, when you pick a Leshrac. They used that Chrono efficiently with Ion Shell, took a team fight, and because of a support at 7 minutes, they just bodied through a tier 1 tower.
Yep, they take down the tower, and I mean, they can keep going on the top lane. Luna's made her way back here, doesn't have an Eclipse for another 80 seconds, and Princeton have shown up to the top lane in force, but Scarsdale should be able to just back away from that very quickly. Axe still trying to farm up. I mean... put his Tranquil Boots on the ground. He's about 400, 500 gold away from the Blink Dagger when we're probably going to see Princeton start to want to find a couple more kills, but Shadow Fiend steps with the mid lane and he might be in a lot of trouble. Here comes the Oracle, Fortune's End keeping him in place. Void doing some nice damage. Eventually Rashak finds the kill. Also puts down the Diabolical Edict. Okay, yeah, they're definitely listening to the cast.
Yep. Yep, he's adapting. He's learning. No, and this is what you want to see. I mean, obviously these guys aren't playing at the next TI, but they are trying to play competitively. They're trying to improve as a team. And when you make a mistake like that, it's about adapting and fixing it for next time. And we definitely saw that change there from him, which was great to see. Now the only other thing is going to be seeing how he reacts if he ever gets Ion Shelled again. If he can cover both mistakes in one game, I'll be very content with him. But yeah, this is a very, very good position for Scarsdale. You got some early game aggression out of your lineup that probably should have been on the back foot for the first 10 minutes of the game. And now I think you get to leverage this Chrono every time it's up to really just secure a couple kills on cores. Oh, poor Ward.
Yeah, immediately de-worded by the Luna. And that's a nice little bit of gold going her way. So after taking a death top, she's gone into the jungle trying to get a little bit more farm. As the Axe has gotten up to his Blink Dagger, that's a little bit more room for the Lunar to farm here.
Yeah. What changes the spell effects for Luna? The mount? Must be the mount.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Maybe. Might be something else. We're going to see the Blink Axe fall onto the Ogre. I'm sorry, the Oracle. Kind of looks like an Ogre at the end of this. There's Mean Astral in prison, keeping the Oracle alive for a little bit more, keeping the Axe possibly zoned out. Split Earth off the mark, but the Glimpse does come through, pulling the Oracle right back towards that kill. Now Flounder possibly in a little bit of trouble, but he's doing some nice damage over to the Luna. Nice call is going to hit on the OD. OD's taking some nice damage from this, but the Split Earth is going to kill off the Axe. And now we have a Chronosphere coming in from Freedom Fries. Freedom Fries can do some nice damage, but the Eclipse comes through from the Luna, forcing back Scarsdale. They do manage to kite this with the help of the Astral in prison, which actually ends up killing off the Luna. Now Flounder goes forward again, trying to man fight against the the Shadow Fiend, and now he's got the Diabolic Edict as well as the ult, but he's just going to get cleaned up by the Shadow range. The Diabolic Edict continues to go through, and Freedom Fries actually uses an aggressive time walk to get into this one. Astral in prison doing some nice work. Mar wants to keep getting that intelligence going. Also has the there's the Series Eclipse, but it really does absolutely nothing. Does do a little bit of damage over to the Shadow Fiend, Shadow Demon, who ends up getting killed off by the Oracle. But in the end, just a lot of... It's a bit of a clown fiesta, honestly, in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that fight was so chaotic in so many different ways, and I don't think it was poorly executed by either team. The Oracle made a bit of a misplay there. Right when she came out of the Astral from OD, she was at about 390 health. And she should have just Fate's Edict herself right away. It would have prevented any more damage from coming in and made it so Axe couldn't have cold her. Instead, she gets glimpsed back, instantly cold from like a little bit more damage, and then just gets ripped out of that team fight. So a bit unfortunate there from her. Flounder kind of made a man up that he probably shouldn't have, running at the Shadow Fiend with 240 health, but
Dire's bottom tower has
Wasn't the
fallen.
worst play in the world.
Well, he
Now
could
the
have
biggest
banked on the fact that the SF would have missed the raises like he had done for most of the fight.
maybe. So Sanity's Eclipse though is what I want to talk about. The spell at level 1 is not that much damage. Your Arcane Orb hasn't stolen very much int. You don't really have that much int. It's not going to do a lot. The big thing it does is it strips 40% of the mana away from the heroes. So what you want to do with a level 1 Astral or Sanity's Eclipse is just slam it on the most heroes you can very early on in the fight.
Ooh, Shadow Fiend going for the Requiem missiles on the Mar. There's going to be a glimpse back into this one. Darkseer is here with the vacuum to put them right into the wall, killing off the Shadow Fiend, and the Oracle also doing some nice help to the OD, who's going to Astral Imprison himself here, trying to heal up a little bit, but yep, he's going to heal up after that Astral Imprison and False Promise is done. Can they actually find the axe here? They're going to use the Surge on the Leshrac. Perhaps it was the wrong guy because they could definitely... Oh, we're going to see the call on the 2 by the axe. No, we have an Eclipse in 5 seconds. Are they going to fight long enough? Here comes the Split Earth. As soon as the Astral Imprison is done, they'll kill off the axe. How far are they going to chase the Ludo? Can turn this right around. They have to be very careful. And actually, the OD is going to go right for it. Here comes the Astral Imprison, looking for the Split Earth. He pings it out. He says, "Do it, man!" And she's not going to get the chance to do the Eclipse there. But now Shadow Demon in a lot of trouble. She just wants to put off the Eclipse. Let's see if she can yell it. There she goes. Gives herself a nice haircut. She says thank you to the barber. And now the Static Storm forcing Mar back away from it. But he's not going to have a choice. He's just glimpsed right back into it. And they did chase a little bit far for that kill. And they actually end up not killing the Luna with a nice disruption save from the Shadow Demon.
A huge team fight win there. Basically, Scarsdale just donated 3 kills to Princeton. That was very throwy, to word it lightly. But either way, nice little footing found for them in this game, giving them a little bit of recovery. The Shadow Fiend is just way too broke for a 13-minute Shadow Fiend, though. He's wanting to be at 1 item already, and pretty much just looking for farm efficiency towards the second. Instead, he's still getting to Dragonlance, which I'm not really sure if I like that as a first item here anyway on him. It's a little bit of survivability, but with the way Scarsdale's lineup is, I think if they go on you, you die no matter what items you buy until that's BKB. And they're just going to keep pressuring you. This level 4 Diabolic Deed just destroys T1s.
Axe gets a call onto the Leshrac, who gets nice help out from the OD, putting him into the Astral Imprison, but that might just put him into the World of Hurt. Nice job by the OD to force staff the Leshrac away from there, getting him out of trouble.
Dire's middle tower is under
But this
attack.
blink call can keep coming through, and if Scarsdale want to continue to try to push this, they have to be very aware of the fact that Axe can always come in with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this game's going to end up being on the Luna and the Axe. If Luna can hit God mode status where she can just glaives through heroes super hard, you hit a 2-man call on at least 1 big target and there's glaives bouncing between them, people will die. It absolutely will just get shredded. And so the Luna needs to try to avoid taking these fights without Eclipse up and just farm. Farm constantly. Let your Shadow Fiend die, let him be behind. You just be greedy and be that pub player that says, screw you team, I'm farming till I have 3 items.
Yeah, but so far the Luna seems to be wanting to help her team out a bit. Also, just now she's getting the creep over to try to stack up this ancient camp, but there's a ward right there. So the stacks probably won't be happening for quite a bit.
Probably.
So that's something that the Luna hasn't really been able to take advantage of, which is one of the reasons why she and the Sven can get the farm up extremely quickly, and we'll see a lot of teams tend to favor those heroes. But without that kind of steroid to her farm, we're seeing Princeton just kind of fighting quite a bit. They have an Axe who wants to farm up in the jungle. They have a Shadow Fiend who really needs to get his farm up. And then they need a Luna who has to be super effective in lieu of the rest of her team. And they are going to get a nice D-ward off on the sentry that was blocking their Ancients and be able to do that before the next minute mark, which will spawn the next Ancient camp. Possibly going for a gank on to Freedom Fries here. He's trying to farm up a hard camp, and his vision not too great. He gets his Lincoln Sphere delivered by the courier. As the enemy team comes around the side, that's going to be a Static Storm as well as the Axe Call, but okay, there is the damage that they absolutely needed onto the Faceless Void, eventually just killing him as everybody starts to show up to the gank. So, well, his Lincoln Sphere arrived, but that's not going to create a whole lot of solace for the Faceless Void there.
Look at top lane. The creep waves are here and here. Okay, he pulled this one. Okay, I was trying to figure out where the other wave went. It was like 2 minutes of dead space between the lane, and I was very confused. So yeah, this is what Scarsdale needs to try to look to do: just pressure this lane and force them off of bottom. But they took that tower extremely fast down bottom, and these rotations are coming in maybe a bit faster than Scarsdale knows.
Oracle was just kind of meandering his way back over towards the rest of his team, and eventually ends up paying for it with the glimpse. And again, Princeton High School find another easy kill. Not the best one that they could be getting, it's just an Oracle, but still, I mean, they're taking kills away from Scarsdale and continuing to delay this game. Oh, now OD is going to go right underneath the Sentry Ward. Are they going to have the vision for it? Disruptor turns around, has the glimpse available, but he's just going to glimpse him away from the vision of the ward. His Invis rune is up, getting caught out in the kinetic field, and they've got a lot of space to do this. Luna gets the surround, and Mar throws out the series of eclipse. Now Freedom Prize comes in with the ultimate. He's going to throw in the Chronosphere, and the wall is there as well. Do Scarsdale just clean up after this one? Luna uses the eclipse, trying to do some damage elsewhere. Ends up finding Flounder. Can the Shadow Fiend back away from the double Ion Shell damage? He's trying to do so, and the purple ball comes out, trying to do some work. Can Smacks get the man fight? There's the Lucent Beam. Ultra kill. Are we going to get it again? No, not going to happen. The Darkseer steals away the Rampage away from Freedom Prize.
Savage.
When you have 2 Ion Shells, it's probably what's going to happen.
What an insane fight. The OD slammed the Sanities there, and I was just like very confused as to why, not thinking they were going to commit onto that. But it put 3 Dire Heroes at 0 mana. The Disruptor, the Axe, and the Shadow Demon had no gas left after those all came down. So the Void just leapt in, made this huge hero chrono, and really just an insane play from the whole team there. They really put some massive work in on that, using all of their skills just to really make that fight work.
I mean, it just shows what you can do with this Void, who, I mean, you go the Shadow build, you pick up the Lincoln Sphere, you get a great Chronosphere, and then there's just an Ion Shell doing so much damage. Oh my gosh, Flounder, what are you? What? Hello? 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 His body just sinks into the ground. And there's a bunch of blood splattered all over the place. I don't really know what he was trying to show off with that Blink Dagger. Maybe some big blue disco pony balls, but he quickly got those chopped off.
Damn, castration jokes. Feels bad. Oh, rough life for the disco pony there. Yeah, I'm not sure what that jump in was. That was questionable. We'll just use that as
he had
the
some
nice
vision too.
Why? Just why are we getting another Vlad's on Void after? Grumble.
There's a lot of why this match. Maybe we need some X.
I mean, sure. I thought we were avoiding drug talk though.
I don't know.
But no, so Shadow Fiend got what he needed though. Like if you take a look at this, in the last 4 minutes, he did manage to pull out a Yasha and an Ogre Club. I hope it's not SNY.
I bet you it is.
Pretty okay here, but it's a little early for a BKB yet. So yeah, maybe it is an SNY. Who knows?
I bet
we'll just have to see. Luna doing Ancient, so it's going to put her very, very close to this Manta already. And her timings are definitely where they want to be this game. She's farming relatively well, especially given the course of this game. They do quickly scout her with the scan, but they're not going to be able to make a play on it. That was a strange scan. So everything is back up, though, for Scarsdale. They want to go. You start that double Ion Shell combo again. You just fish for a chrono, and the second you connect with it, you just go.
And, of course, you have Flounder available with the Blink to die as well, so I don't know what that does for you, if it's any good, but, I mean, you do have it.
Yeah, that's your call right there.
Here comes the stun out onto the Darkseer. They're chasing this a little bit, and the call is going to be off the mark. Can Darkseer get the 4-man vacuum into this one? There's going to be a Requiem of Souls doing a lot of damage to those illusions. Can Void actually find the Chronosphere? Going to be silenced by the Static Storm, and they're actually just going to be left without the Shrag. Oracle being zoned out and ends up dying at the end of the False Promise. That was a beautiful vacuum, but there was just no backup for it. Freedom Prize was too far away.
Can we get an instant replay as the what there? He was standing in the middle of 5 heroes. Is he silenced or stunned or something?
The Void?
No, the Lesh. How did we not get a 4-man stun on the 4-man vacuum there?
I don't know.
That That was so good, but Lesh didn't even get edict off in that, which is why I'm so lost. He got 0 buttons off on the back of that amazing.
Maybe he lost his keyboard.
Maybe.
Do you want to ask?
But that's gonna be a Roche.
That'd probably be BM.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
we're gonna see a real game. This game's gonna be like
vacuum to the high ground.
Vacuum.
Dark's here. Well, he's in a lot of trouble now. He's gonna get called by the axe. And it's Astral Prison keeping him alive. Maybe OD can fight off of this one. And remember, Void still has the Chronosphere. Axe going forward. Fantech, he's getting a little bit caught out. He's going to get caught on the end of that Chronosphere. Dark's here very low. Still getting hit by the Battle Hunger. Is going to manage to stay alive with the Guardian Greaves. And also an Astral Prison here to keep him alive. Disruptor. Here comes the Eclipse from Luna. Doing some nice damage. Martin in trouble. And eventually that Lucent Beam is going to finish him off. No Sane's Eclipse going to come through from him. Freedom Fries staying on the high ground. He wants to go against the Shadow Fiend. Lucent Beam is going to hit onto him as that Lincoln Sphere was already popped. And his Chronosphere is down. Might not be in the best position. Oh, he goes to the low ground where Flounder is waiting. He stunts an illusion. Wow. Freedom Fries. He's just waiting for his chance to do something, but he's already on very low life. And, well, Shadow Fiend is still on the high ground. Oh, Flounder's there. Oh, Flounder goes for the blink, and he cuts the tree down. Now Shadow Fiend can try to hit him, but they do have vision. Where's the man? Oh, my God.
The Roche auto off the hill. I'm so done. This game.
Roshan the MVP. God. Oh my God. Like, what a player, this guy. Look at him. His house is moving. He's going to get the moving company in here soon. He's still going for kills.
So Shadow Fiend had an item on him and an item in the stash. He hit the courier button and he bought a TP. And it brought him the item from the stash before it brought him the TP scroll. So the courier made a whole trip all the way down here without a TP on it. And then he had to run it back to get a TP, and then all the way back to him to get it. And he just didn't have time. He maybe was fine if he didn't try to hit the DS when he was still standing on the cliff. But as soon as he showed himself there, he basically committed suicide.
Scarsdale in trouble. Oracle caught out, but there's going to be the Astral Prison once again. OC has to get away from the Static Storm. Oh, Sane's Eclipse is available. He wants to get more damage off of this one. Just going to throw it out. That's a lot of damage done to the Disruptor. And Freedom Fries goes to the high ground. They want smacks here. They need to get some bashes done. And Axe is ready with another call. He's going to find his mother. Now pops that Blade Mail as well. Disruption going to come through, making some more illusions of the Axe. And that's a very sad Shadow Fiend, Requiem of Souls on the high ground. Mar just looking for any kill that he can find. Iron Shield, Freedom Fry is going to be there. Also has a Chronosphere available. I don't think the Luna gets away from this one. And indeed she does not. That should secure the Roshan for SHS.
Yeah. Wow. Alright, so Darkseer is still the hero of this game. That almost suicidal vacuum play to pull the Luna Shadow Fiend up to high ground saved this Roche from just going Princeton's way totally for free. And now it turned into 2 different teamfight wins for Scarsdale and a Roshan. That was supposed to be the equalizer that brought this game back to 0 net worth and an Aegis in favor of Princeton. Instead, we're going to look at about a 7k net worth lead, a T2 tower dropping, and an Aegis on the OD.
Yeah, Darkseer being an absolute MVP here with a beautiful cliffing on a couple of carries. And even throughout the rest of the fight, like, eventually the Luna got down, but the Shadow Fiend does not. He was just like, I mean, I kind of forgot about him on the high ground. He was just kind of sitting there for like 30 seconds throughout that team fight, just kind of watching his team die. And eventually he got found. I mean, it's kind of bad when you're up on the cliff so far that everybody just forgets that you're there. I mean, maybe even you yourself forgot that you were there as a Shadow Fiend.
Oh no, he was desperately trying to get that courier to make its magic, so he had a TP to get out. I was just so bad from him. The courier flew out, and he's just like, oh, finally my escape. Checks the courier, and his TP's still sitting in stash. Like, that had to just feel so bad. Oh, so all the ammo pretty much back in the tank here again for Scarsdale. You're still missing your Sanity's Eclipse, but at this stage of the game, not the most important skill on the team. So they should be able to take this T2 pretty uncontested top. Look to swing mid and take that T2 with the rest of the Aegis, and then you got to make some calls after that. But those 2 things should be very textbook to them at this point.
So right now, Scarsdale, they've got a bit of a lead right now. They have their Blink Dagger on Faceless Void, which I'm sure you're probably not very happy about. But it definitely can set up some things for his team. And they're taking a lot of these towers off the map, controlling a lot with this Aegis. And they nearly have their BKB on OD as well.
Yeah, and then it comes to the question of how do you kill him? Your Shadow Fiend is too far behind. Your Luna, while she was doing well, has been slowed down for the last 3 or 4 minutes, really making no progression. And an Axe with a Blade Mail is not super great against an OD with a BKB because he's not reflecting any of the Arcane Orb damage onto him. And yeah, it's rough. Your team fight potential is starting to drop here drastically. I mean, if your Disruptor somehow had the chance to get to an Aghanim's game, maybe, but looking a long ways off for that poor lonely Disruptor sitting at the bottom of the net worth charts.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Well, that tier 2 tower will be taken by Scarsdale, taking all the outer towers away. They'll be taking care of the Shadow Demon Luna illusions, and, well, she actually does pretty good at clearing out the creep wave, and she does have a Manta style as well. So they do have a couple of ways to make sure that these lanes are pushed out, but I don't know how long that's going to persist against a team that can very easily catch this Luna out.
Yeah, they really can. I mean, I'm trying to think of what you can do here. If I have to give one kind of ding to just constant decisions I've seen across all 3 games from Princeton here, their supports don't commit to first item mobility. We've seen Glimmer Cape picked up twice on whoever playing the Shadow Demon. I like Plat. And the Disruptor's always been too broke to ever get to an item. I understand sometimes that's going to happen where you just can't ever put anything together, but your first item on one of your supports needs to be Force Staff in like 90% of games. The mobility a Force Staff provides both offensively and defensively is so insanely good that the gold value doesn't even come close to measuring it. Like, it is just so broken of an item because you can position people while they're stunned.
I mean, it's definitely a strong thing. Unfortunately, it can... I mean, maybe you even get the good play where you Force Staff someone before the Chronosphere comes out, so maybe you get something like that. Basically giving yourself a huge advantage in the team fight. But, again, I mean, it also helps out the Axe if he gets a good call, if you just turn towards the rest of your team, drag a couple of heroes in, sort of like a Bat Rider, and also affect the position a little bit more. I mean, Force Staffs definitely can have quite a bit of an impact here. But again, we're just going to see Shadow Demon going for another Glimmer Cape as OD gets initiated on here. Lots of damage being done. He's been silenced. That's going to be the Aegis going down. Freedom Fry's doing some nice damage. Gets a Time Lock off in the middle of that Chronosphere. Now he's got a False Promise on himself as well. OD's going forward. That's a Vacuum onto 3, as well as the Walsani's Eclipse doing a ton of damage. Smack's forced away. Blink forward by the Faceless Void, trying to do the damage, and the Ion Shell definitely does help him out. Oh, Shadow Fiend on the high ground. There's going to be a TP in by the buybacked Axe, looking for another Blink call. It's just Freedom Fry standing there with his Faceless Void. And SHF, they've definitely forced Princeton back to on their back leg here. As a Freedom Fries, he's getting hit by a couple of these illusions. Glaze taking a lot of damage here. Axe just waiting for his chance to get the Blink call, but he's not going to find it just yet. Freedom Fries to the high ground, taking some damage from the Shadow Fiend. He's just looking for his opportunity, but he's not going to find it just yet. Astro in prison. Onto the Shadow Fiend. Axe gets a call, but it's only onto the Faceless Void. And there's no Leshrac stun here. I'm not really sure what he's doing. You have a 4-man vacuum. Again, no Leshrac stun. Disruption goes out onto the OD. Can he actually get away from this one? No, that's a call. And, well, the Axe keeps him there for long enough. Leshrac finally making his way to this fight, but it's only to stun out the Luna. Oracle's already dead. And Princeton, they hold the high ground.
All right, don't get me wrong, my friend. I am totally for flaming people when it's merited, but the Lesh was the one that died in the fight. He was dead that entire time. So there is no way he was ever going to be there.
Well,
he just rezzed when that all started. I'm more confused as to where the disruption was when the Axe went on him. Like, you've got a Hurricane Pike on OD. He can go in, disrupt, and get himself out. And it really does let Void kind of just have the opportunity to blink out. But Yules on Lesh here, self-Yules. Weird.
He's scared of the Disruptor.
I suppose, man.
I mean, Disruptor's a scary dude. He's got arcane boots, man. Fondra's taken so low right now. Guardian Greaves on the high ground, keeping him up. Eventually, the tower's going to fall. So, okay, so maybe I wanted the Leshrac there a little bit too much. I wanted him to teleport across the map just because he would have boots to travel by this point, right? But that kind of begs the question.
It's very fun for a support Lesh. A lot of this just goes to the fact that they have 6 towers down in a Roche, but he has a lot of items. That's a Yule's Blink Arcanes already on a support. That's a position you're really happy to be in.
The question is, like, you lost your Aegis. Why do you continue going high ground when you don't have as much of an advantage and you know the Axe can just call you whenever?
And you didn't have ult anymore either. You'd burn the Sanities, you'd burn the Chrono. Like, nothing was up. That was definitely greedy. Way too greedy. The Luna is basically donated a BKB from that. She's only 300 gold away at this point, 400 gold roughly. So she's going to be closing in on that here.
So with the BKBs coming out, Oracle, Leshrac, OD, not as effective. You still have a Chronosphere through all of that, so maybe the Void does well here. But it's just a lot of control that Scarsdale are going to be missing through those durations, and they're going to be extremely long as Princeton really haven't used those items throughout the... They haven't gotten a chance to. I mean, they're just buying up the item now.
Shadow Fiend bought SNY. I'm tilted.
Did he? He had the... Yeah. Well, he had the BKB recipe, so we at least got that one first.
Yeah, he got it first, but, like, you need Manta in case Oracle disarms you. Like, you can do so many fun things with that. You can actually, if you're very, very quick and you have ping advantage, you can sometimes Manta dodge the Astral Imprisonment damage as it comes out. It's a very weird skill interaction, and that damage doesn't come through instantly. Here's like Jug can spin it. And like, yeah, you can Manta dodge it. You can do a lot of weird things to it. Refraction, Yules, anything that is legitimately instant is possible to be done during it, as long as you get the first frame of action, which it's a really confusing thing with the way Valve servers work. That's part of why on LAN, stuff like OD actually gets a little devalued and Jug gets more benefit, because when you're on 0 ping, a whole bunch of fun things can happen in the game that aren't really possible online. So that's where stuff like Puck and, yeah, like I said, those kind of heroes, Jug, get advantages. Being able to spin on 0 delay is pretty good too.
It definitely sounds like it. Well, in any case, Scarsdale trying to look for their next move here. Let's try keeping that farm up. Does pick up a Glimmer Cape of his own.
Did you ever watch Price is Right?
I did.
The graph kind of reminds me of that game. Yeah, the graph kind of reminds me of the game where the mountain...
The hitchhiker dude?
They're like, yeah, they're like, yodelay, yodelay, and then crashed off the edge. Oh, we tried to take high ground. Oops.
Well, he does have
5K just gone.
A path back up there. Back to the top of the mountain.
He does. They get a few more tries.
Did Drew Carey ruin that show?
I mean, I think the show was pretty dead at that point. Game shows as a whole have been dying for the last 20 years, so...
That's why we have video games. Smoke into the Roche Pit by Princeton High School. Probably not going to be expected a whole lot by Scarsdale, but they are grouping up around the pit just because they want that themselves. Oracle blinks away. Was just getting a little bit of vision. Has some vision of the high ground. Eventually that is going to get deworded. So if they want to, Scarsdale would have to go in blind, and they don't really seem to be making a move for it right now at all. They're just farming out some camps, so that Roshan's going to go right over to Princeton.
That's huge. You throw it on the Luna. She now gets to go ahead and run in and kind of go a little suicidal and have the BKB Eclipse combo in a good position in the middle of the fight. So... I don't know. That's a big play there. It's
yeah, but they still want to go for it. Scarsdale are smoked up right now. They're not letting the Void lead the way. He's got his Blink Chronosphere available, and Luna's Illusions are going to be pushing out the mid lane. Mars going to go forward, puts the Astral Imprison out onto the Axe. Here comes Freedom Fries. Wants to get the Chronosphere. He doesn't want to get it out onto his OD as well, though. BKB gets used. He's going to get a double Chronosphere. Mars basically on the wrong side of this fight, though. They are cleaning up the Axe. They do nearly get the Shadow Demon. He is knocked down inside of the Dire base. Eclipse doing a ton of work. Freedom Fry is going to have to do as much as he can. Nice double vacuum doing some work. Smacks. Okay, he's going to get the Astral in prison. OD's allowed to kite this one. How alive can he stay? False Promise doing a lot of work, but he's going right back in. That's just an Aegis. Kid Papu. He's basically left alone for a couple seconds until the Luna's back up. There's the Sammy's Eclipse doing so much damage. Disruptor's taken out. Luna's trying to stand her ground, but I don't know how much he's going to be able to do. Doing some nice damage with the bouncing glaives, going all over these heroes, but Freedom Fries is going forward, taking care of the illusions. Here comes the Shadow Fiend back to this one. Ban Techies, and he's in some trouble. His gem is there, but he's got the Guardian Greaves able to keep him alive for now. And Scarsdale, they did force out a lot there. They took the Aegis off of the hero that had just gotten it. And they do get away with most of their important lives, only losing the supports for that one and forcing out some buybacks.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So, Dota 2. We got some... I mean, Luna shows how strong she is in that fight, but wasn't quite able to do the damage she needs. The rest of the team wasn't really able to help her. And as soon as the Axe gets caught out in that last fight, things don't go so well for Princeton.
Yeah, I mean, really solid play there from most of the Radiant team, just looking for a really aggressive play. That OD knew the Oracle was behind him to save him there, so you just went in and made the play start. So, well played by him. The BKB on Void paid off really well there, because he was stuck in a Static Storm, and just popped the BKB, managed to find a decent 2-man Chrono. I'm a little upset the Leshrac didn't have Edict running already at the point the Chrono went off, but I suppose that's just life at some days. Yeah, unless your Luna gets to, like, it'd have to be like Butterfly Satanic before a real high ground fight happens, then this game looks really hard. I don't know when Princeton can take the initiative at this point, because right now every fight for the last 10 minutes has been on this half of the map, like that little corner. And when you're the team pushing in like that all the time and you're breaking even or doing well in those fights, that's really hard for Dire to take any objectives. And so Dire need to find a way. They need to figure out what items they need before they feel comfortable going on the other half of the map, and then try to take a fight on that side. And I think at the very minimum, you really need to get a Butterfly, your Luna, just so she's not getting like 4-shot from an OD.
Sorry, I'm having a little fun drawing.
Yeah, I mean, professional casts, what can we say?
I know, right?
I flame, you draw.
Yeah, that's basically the role structure that we had set up before we started this cast. Got to work on my drawing skills. I know that's one area that I definitely don't really succeed in as a caster. I mean, we could have a Bob Ross mountain there and some happy little trees. And there we go. Eventually, Princeton are going to be trying to make sure that they keep their lanes pushed out with the Luna illusions. I mean, they are pretty strong right now. That's one of the reasons why this combo is played so much, just because it is definitely good at delaying the game or taking some towers down. Luna is very strong, level 20 right now, 3,000 gold in the bank, so she will be making her way to the next item soon, but she has to save most of that for buyback right now, which is available for her. If we take a look at the buybacks on that team, the Luna has available, so does the Axe and the Shadow Demon here. So, I mean, if a couple of heroes do start to go down, they do have a couple of ways back into it for a very good high ground defense. But the lanes continue to push in for Scarsdale.
Yeah, kind of a blank smoke there too from Scarsdale. I mean, not that it really is that high impact at this point, but they have everything up. These are the tools they have. They're not really close to anything super major for item pickups. I think you just want to be beating your face into high ground here, even just to test the waters, right? Like, see what happens when you take a fight that you know you can get out of, where maybe you just put the Void and the OD up in front, saves whichever one they go on. But I think they have good siege potential here. They just need to start using it.
They do go to the high ground. Faceless Void starting to get over towards the tower, doing some nice damage to the creeps with the Ion Shell. And here comes the Diabolic Edict. That's one of the main tools that SHS can have against the tower. Nice Pipe of Insight is going to keep them. Oh, wow. That is some legitimate damage from Kid Papu. And, well, there's a glimpse coming back, but the Kinetic Field isn't going to keep Mar there at all. And he'll quickly work through these Luna illusions. We're staying alive a little bit longer with the Talisman of Evasion.
This is what I'm saying. Butterfly is the key item here for Princeton. Once they get this up on Luna, they need to start finding ways to get fights in the other half of them. That's where you quit holding high ground, you start making aggressive smokes. Maybe you wrap around on this, get behind them, and really start making a play. But yeah, Luna's about 2k off right now from getting to that Butterfly. I think you forgo buyback on her, honestly. I think by the time she's dead in a fight, the team fight's probably over.
Oh my god. These illusions.
Yeah. Evasion's so big into this lineup.
Oh, OG to the high ground, going in for another Diabolic Edict, trying to take care of these creeps. And there is going to be a Chronosphere on the two. Luna caught out. They're doing some nice damage to the Axe as well. Split Earth going to be doing the damage there. And he's got a 3-man vacuum by the Darks here, putting them right in the middle of the wall. And Luna comes in with the Eclipse, trying to do as much damage as she can. She's trying to stay alive, but it's not going to happen. OD taunted. Is there going to be a call? Not going to happen. Gem is on the ground. Darkseer left a little bit something inside the base as we have a couple buybacks coming through. SHS, the Darkseer's bought back, and he doesn't have the boots of travel, so he's going to take a very long time running back towards this one. Flounder, Glimmer Cape, Yule Scepter to the sky. We've got the Scythe device onto the Luna. Can the OD just man fight this one up? But she uses the BKB, turns it around. Freedom Fries. He's gotten a lot of damage done to him. Can the OD get away from here? Split Earth, not going to be doing anything, and the Lucent Beam is going to be finishing off the OD. Now Luna just wants to keep going forward, finding some damage as Freedom Fries, well, he doesn't really care. Lucent Beam going to pop that Lincoln Sphere on him, and he's going to just stop looking at the Shadow Demon there. But now Luna taking a lot of damage. They need a bash. They need some more damage as the Leshrac continues to go forward here. Diabolic Edict. Well, eventually the Luna does die, and she's down for 100 seconds. Can this Shadow Demon get taken out? He's got the Glimmer Cape keeping him safe from a lot of that Ion Shell damage. They gotta probably step back and go for some racks here, though. Shadow Demon down for 26 seconds. Axes back in 19. Fortify gonna get used, slowing down this push, but we have another Diabolic Edict caking this down so quickly. That's one of the strengths of the Leshrac. You can just make sure that these buildings melt. Someone told you about a Luna? Well, this guy's got the Diabolic Edict doing the magic, I guess that's composite damage. I don't even know what they changed it to anymore. Physical damage to take down the towers. It used to be composite damage. Like 100% sure of that. But they finish off the top set of racks. Axe looking for a blink call off the back of this. But the first full set goes the way of Scarsdale. They didn't look too good in game number 1, but they come back with it in game number 2. They seem to have figured a few things out for their team. And they're going pretty hot right now.
This is exactly what Radiant needed. They found a way to break into the base. They got a bunch of kills. They got buybacks, which the buyback on Luna is absolutely critical because you shove that butterfly timing off from like 2 to 3 minutes all the way back to like 10 to not getting it the rest of the game. So really, really huge from them there. They put that Luna on 2,000 gold all the way down to 500. So absolutely backbreaking to their economy. The Shadow Fiend's items have pretty much stagnated as well. Now you're going to be on a hero play if you're Princeton. You got to look for something else. You don't want to just keep taking these high ground fights one after the other unless you're going to be the one to initiate on them. Whether that takes a smoke in your own base with a blink call or something. But you really have to find a way to be the ones going into these fights.
And Freedom Prize also has an Orchid here. I'm not sure how to feel about this. I'm assuming that he really should just exclusively using it just to make sure that the Shadow Demon doesn't get a disruption off in the fight or something like that.
Here's the problem. You're applying logic to this. This is the exact same item building with last game other than the BKB. I mean, I think this is just his void build, you know. That's the build that's the best. I go at every game, you know.
I'm 12, by the way.
I don't like it. I just don't like any of this. I mean, if you want the blink, I think it's wrong, but it's blink or Vlad's. It's not both on Carry Void ever. And maybe he just doesn't like Diffusal Manta or hasn't tried it. I'm not sure. But the amount of damage you do in a chrono, if you Diffusal Manta somebody, they're just dead. Like, you can kill any hero on that team except the Axe. Well, maybe not the Luna now that she has evasion. But prior to this, for the first 35 minutes of this game, you actually could just solo kill anyone in this game.
Darkseer Illusion is waking
There's the smoke.
Like, oh, Scarsdale into the Roche pit, and they're going to break the smoke, but the Axe misses the call. Can Fonder blink out? Looks like it's not going to happen. He's just going to Yule Scepter himself up, and the Luna Eclipse doing a little bit of work, but actually the Faceless Void doesn't want to fight here. They're using the False Promise to keep Fonder alive, but I don't think they're going to be able to do a whole lot there, and Malone trying to not get caught out. He needs to TP away, but he's just going to be starting it now, and he actually does get out, so, well, that might have just secured the Roshan for Princeton when it gets up, but it's not up just yet.
Yeah, do they stick around and wait, though? That's the question. Maybe you Shadow Demon Illusion somebody and throw the illusion. But
this illusion... Oh my god, they killed it. They also have a Gemlin Disruptor as well, so taking a lot of... Oh,
really...
Jesus, what?
This is really unfortunate Roche timing. Honestly, OD is going to see it. Yeah, literally that exact second. You're right, it could have in theory been Princeton's Roshan if it spawned 10 seconds earlier. Instead, we're stuck in this weird situation now where Scarsdale gets donated the free Roche, and Princeton can't fight this. Static Storm's down, Eclipse is down. You aren't in a position to ever take this fight. But then there's the double-edged sword of if you don't take this fight, how do you win the game? The OD has a BKB with some time still left on it. Has a blink now.
Axe is feeling it. He's over to the Roche pit looking for the blink call, but he's not going to go in time. He's going to get it late. The cheese is on the ground. Axe is actually going to pick it up. He's going to eat it up, doing so much damage with the blade mail, but Mara is going to BKB and just goes right in. Oh, SF on the high ground. Another beautiful vacuum wall up there, and they're just being done so much damage. Oh, OD. That's going to be the Aegis pop, but so many heroes just evaporate on the high ground, and Luna, she's just kept here every everybody's in there. They're going to have a mosh pit on top of this Luna, and I don't think she's going to enjoy it one bit. GG's called Scarsdale into the grand final to play against Cupertino.
I need to watch the replay, but I'm like 60% sure she got mantled onto the high.
Radiant victory.
That, oh man, that is so unfortunate. I mean, I don't think they win the fight or the game anyway, but...
Do you want to look?
What a...
I think we have time to look right now.
What a chaotic end to that.
Do you want to...